Hello everybody, hello, welcome to Freezer Meal February. It's time to get our freezers full of delicious food. My name's Leslie Ladd and I'm excited to be here with you today. So if you've done one of my freezer meal prep sessions before, I'm doing it a little bit different today. A couple reasons. One, we're doing 3 workshop sessions, okay? And so today, Friday the 10th, Friday the 17th, Friday the 24th, all at noon, Mountain Time, MST. And, but I'm pre-recording everything because one, I'm just making the mess once and then it's done. And the second reason, the biggest reason is I just got home from doing a big shop at Costco. So I want to just get everything done and into the freezer. So I've split it into 3. The first session is going to be if you're using the air fryer 5-pack collection, and I'm going to make meatloaf, chicken fingers, honey garlic orange chicken, slow cooker rotisserie chicken, and sweet garlic ribs. Okay, and then session 2 is going to be chicken recipes. Session 3 is going to be beef and pork recipes. Okay, so you need the booklet. I'll have it all put together here soon. What I've done is all the recipes I'm going to be doing in these 3 sessions are in here, but I'm going to give you another 12, I think it is, just so you've got some options in case what I've done just isn't your jam. You got something else to choose from, okay? So in the booklet, I also have a page of freezer meal tips. It's going to tell you about like getting prepared, money and time savers, what to do on prep day, storing tips, stacking your freezer bags, like all kinds of tips if you haven't done freezer meal sessions before. So they're there. And then you're going to get your recipes with instructions. So what I do all the time is I get prepped first, and you can see I got a whole bunch of veggies going here, my hamburger, I got a bag, I don't think you can see, I got a whole chicken in this bag, I got a bag of ribs over here. I love these things. We get them from Amazon. I got some, and then I got some for Christmas, so I love that I have so many because I also do prep sessions at my house occasionally, or I go to customers who live close by and do freezer meal prep sessions there. So I label my bag with what's going in there. I flip it down a little bit just so you don't get any gunk on the Ziploc area. And then they just go into this, and it snaps at the top a little bit, so it holds it in place. And then it also, these arms extend. So you can have a nice, you know, your whole bag sits like that, and then you just drop your food right into it. It is slick. So I got these, and I did get reusable Ziploc bags, which are really good, but honestly, I love using them better for fruits and vegetables in the fridge. I find that they last quite a long time, but in the freezer, they weren't as good because for some reason, like I just couldn't get the zipper to work properly, and so I just switched, and so I just use these and then wash them when I'm done, use them again instead of these ones. Plus, writing on these, it kind of stayed permanently, so that was tough. So that's what I did. So anyways, today we're starting with the air fryer 5-pack meatloaf, chicken fingers, honey garlic orange chicken, slow cooker rotisserie. That one's catching me up today, hey? And sweet garlic ribs, okay? So it's these. You get classic meatloaf, crispy crunchy coating, which if you've been here a while, you know I love this one. Sweet garlic chicken, another huge favorite at my house. Rotisserie chicken, and the honey garlic meatballs, another huge. All these are huge. We love these meal solutions, really. Use them a lot. So I'm gonna start with the meatloaf because I have it here, and I actually have 3 pounds of hamburger in here because I'm gonna make a double. Like I'm gonna make 2 meatloaves today. I have the extra hamburger, so why not, right? So let me just find a little space, and then we'll get started. So one thing I do, this calls for an egg, 1 egg per recipe, so it'll be 2 eggs. But because I can't use eggs, I use Epicure's Better Than Mayo. seasoning. I'm already dirty. You guys hang out with me, you know it doesn't take long till I have something spilt or all over me or whatever. So I use about half, for 1 pound, or for one recipe, I'd use half a scoop with about 2 or 3 tablespoons of water. You just kind of get the consistency of an egg. And so, there's some water. That's what I'll do here. This doesn't have a flavor to it. Like if you're making the mayo, oops, spilling, you add the vinegar and you add seasoning to it for the flavoring, because this just doesn't have a flavor. But if you can't eat eggs, it's a really good substitute for eggs. So I might be getting off camera here a little bit. Okay, so you just stir that up. You get like kind of the consistency of an egg. Spilling all over. You can see it just kind of, you get that. And then it works as a binder for you. And then also I find that a lot of time for the 2 of us, these packets are more than enough. So I'm just using 1 packet with 3 pounds of meat, but I'm gonna put in a little bit of Worcester sauce and some, you could use 3 onion or French onion dip mix, whatever you have. You could use a little bit, you could use Philly cheesesteaks are really good as a meatloaf. You could use the beef stroganoff. Like, use your imagination because so many of our products are so versatile. And so I don't think I have the Worcester sauce out. Okay. And then that goes in. And then if you are new to Epicure, then you might not know that our products are super low or no sodium. So you likely want to add a little bit of salt to your recipes. You can wait till it's done and give it a try, whatever you prefer, but they are a low sodium product. So you might notice that when you first get used to it, especially if you've been like, if you're replacing it with like a grocery store brand, like if you're using the taco seasoning and you're using the grocery store taco seasoning and now you've replaced it with Epicure's, you're probably going to notice a huge difference in the salt. So just add it to your taste, but it's awesome because it's so low, and actually eventually you'll get used to the lower sodium and you'll realize how much flavor it's got without salt being added. So I'm just mixing that all up. And then I'm gonna wash my hands because I'm gonna show you kind of what you can do for freezing options. Give me a second. I'll wash my hands a lot throughout this process. So the preparation, the prep probably took me about an hour and a half, but I'm kind of a dawdler too. I kind of like, I made my lunch, I let the cats in and out about 8 times. So it wasn't like I just put my head down and got ready, but still an hour and a half to 2 hours of prep when you're gonna end up with like 15 meals to go in the freezer is no big deal. So if you pick an afternoon to do this, get it done, you're just gonna love it. So what you can do now with your meatloaf is you can put it in the little mini muffin pans, go freeze it, and then pop them out and then freeze individual size muffins. You can use the mini loaf pans. They make really cute little individual meatloaf, same thing. I would freeze them in here and then pop them out and put them in a freezer bag. You can just put them in these metal tins to begin with and just wrap them up and put them in the freezer and you're done. Or you can do what I'm gonna do, which is I'm gonna split it and put it in my rectangular steamers, and then I'm gonna freeze them like this, remove it, wrap it up, and put them in the freezer. The reason I'm doing that is because I like to cook my meatloaf on the broiler pan so that all of the juice and the fat actually drips down. So you do what works for you, and but I just wanted to show you a few options. So we just put that right into the steamer pan like that. And then there you go. Those guys are done. And then at cook, on your recipes, I have where it says at cook. And then, so that's what you do when you're actually going to make them. So these are going to get set aside. They're going to go in the freezer, and then they're going to get wrapped up when they're done. Okay, so our first two meals are done. Wash my hands. Okay. I also need this little. Next, we're going to do, we'll get our whole chicken and our ribs done and out of the way. Yeah, so when I do my prep, I get my prep all done, and then I clean up again, you know, get all the dishes done, out of the way, ready to go. So that was classic meatloaf. Now we're going to do the sweet garlic ribs. So I've got my ribs already in my pack. We've cut them in half so that they fit in there. Remove the silver skin from the back. And then with this one, you're just going to sprinkle the seasoning. So you can add a couple tablespoons. Now what I would do normally if I had the space is I would lay these out, put 2 tablespoons of oil on them, and then sprinkle the seasoning pack on. But I'm doing it the clean way today. I've already got it in the bag. The whole pack go on. I'm just like trying to think. Some of the recipes I have to use part of the pack because the rest is going to go on later. So that actually was quite a bit of seasoning. You probably could get away with doing 2 batches or just half of one, but that's it. That's just gonna, I'm not gonna squeeze the air out yet because I'm gonna shift this around a little bit. Shake it around, get all that seasoning around everywhere. And these aren't actually going into the freezer because this is going to be what's for supper tonight. And then once you have this all shaken around like that, or if you want it to be neater and you want it to be, make sure everything's coated, which I don't know if that matters too much when you're doing a freezer meal like this. Okay, then you would squeeze all the air out, label your bag, into the freezer it goes. Okay, so these are going back here because I'm cooking them for dinner. So watch the, I'll actually post the results before you'll see this video because like I said, I'm pre-recording. Okay, so the other thing I should mention is I usually have a garbage bowl going. So I just, as I have garbage, I just toss it into the little bowl. Keep going. So that was that. Next, I'm going to do the rotisserie chicken. Basically the same thing as what I just did with the pork ribs. The chicken, I took it out of the packaging, patted it dry. And same thing, I'm just gonna put a couple tablespoons of oil, olive oil, down in there a little bit. And you know, because you're doing this as a freezer meal, when it's thawing, you can massage it around a little bit and help it marinate and whatnot. So that's why when you're putting these together, you can be a little less or a little more haphazard because it's going to spend time in the bag and the seasoning. So a packet of rotisserie chicken seasoning goes in there. Now, what I love to do with the rotisserie chicken is when I buy the pack, the set of 3, I put them into one of the tall jars, like this size of jar. And then I put a shaker lid. I keep my shaker lids. I put a shaker lid on it. And then you can just shake it onto like chicken breasts if you're cooking them, ribs. It's really good on ribs. If on chicken breasts or on a whole chicken, whatever, you just shake it on as you need it. It works really slick. So same thing. Now I got my oil, my chicken in there. It's not fancy. We're just getting it into the freezer so that it's there when we have a super busy night. Or one of those nights when you're just not super interested in doing the whole shebang for dinner. You just pull out a freezer meal, put it in the crock pot or get it ready for the sheet pan, whatever it takes. All right, so there we go. Chicken's done, label it. I put what it is and when I made it. So I'll put, you know, whole chicken, 0223 on it. I don't put the cooking instructions because I will have all these recipes in my book off to the side, and I found like if you taped them or whatever you did, if you write on them, sometimes when it was thawing it would get smudged and stuff. So I just keep the recipes close by, and I'm the cook at my house, so I don't have to worry about somebody else wondering where the instructions are, so I just don't even worry about it. Okay, so now what do we got going? Honey, garlic, orange, chicken. This one just sounded so yummy. And where's the recipe? I'm not necessarily going in order of how I have them in the little booklet. I'm going in order of how it makes the most sense to like not make a giant mess. Okay, so this one is boneless chicken thighs, or you can use chicken breasts if you have them, which is what I have. Chicken thighs would make a less expensive version, but use what you have. I'm just trying to think what I'm doing. 1, 2, okay, this goes, yeah. Okay, so that's 6 of those going in there. Just making sure I'm using my chicken properly. And also, just go by the recipe. Follow the recipe, not necessarily what I'm doing it, because I'm doing it for how we eat, and there's just 2 of us. So if you want to double or triple some of these recipes, this one I think it would be really, really easy to double the meat and have, you know, half this or the same amount of sauce. So yeah, you can just kind of do it however you like. Now, you can do, I'm kind of just the dump and toss around. Again, like I said, it's going into the freezer, so it's easy to do that. And so everything's just getting tossed in here. I've got 2/3 cup of soy sauce. And this is my Perfect Petite that I'm using as my measuring sauce, or my measurer. 2/3 cups of honey. Actually, I'm gonna do those other 2 chicken breasts in here, or these other 2 pieces in here. I'm gonna do a good big batch because this will be one that'll be good to have leftovers for lunch. And honey. I love honey. 2/3 cups of honey. So I'm just eyeballing this one because I hate putting honey in a measuring cup. So I'll put about that much in. So this is gonna make a sauce that can go over your rice after you've done it on the slow cooker, or done it in the slow cooker. So that's why it seems like a lot of sauce is going in there. And then, so you've got a nice sauce for your rice. Okay, 1/4 cup of orange marmalade. This is what I thought was a really neat part of the recipe. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. That's kind of how I cook. What about you guys? How do you cook? You kind of eyeball it, or are you like, nope, hard, true measurement? 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce. I think I cook enough recipes that I can come awfully close to guessing fairly accurately anyways. 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. I love cooking with sesame oil. I love the flavor of it. I really, really do. 1, 2. This is our 4-in-1 spoon. If you haven't seen this, 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon. And on the back, it's a 1/2 teaspoon, and there's a little line there for a 1/4 teaspoon. So it's perfect. You got 4 measures all in one. And then the sweet, is that right? I tell you, I've been doing these recipes so much, I'm forgetting. Oh no, that goes on the ribs. I need the honey garlic. Sorry, I got the wrong pack. It shouldn't be the sweet garlic. It should be the honey garlic. that I seem to have misplaced. Okay, did I already use that one? I have a feeling that I put the wrong one on the ribs. That's what I did. Okay guys, so here's how we improvise. Because I put the honey garlic seasoning on the ribs. It should actually go in the honey garlic chicken. The sweet garlic chicken should have gone on the ribs, but now it's gonna go in the honey garlic chicken. So there's a little faux pas on my part. So again, follow the recipe, not me. Oh my gosh. I get talking and going along. No wonder it looked weird to me, hey? And yeah, so honestly, I don't think that's gonna make a big difference other than we're gonna have a more Asian flavored rib tonight instead of just a straight sweet garlic. I think it's gonna be delicious anyways. So what I'm gonna do is now instead I'll make some stir-fried vegetables and some rice, and that's what we'll have with the ribs. So there you go. And there I am, improvising, just showing you how amazing these products are and how quickly you can adjust. So this you'll freeze flat like this, so it hardly takes up any room. And that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, we're gonna get to the chicken fingers. And this is one of my most favorite things ever, is this crispy crunchy coating mix. I just love it. So I take, I use the mayo. You can use Greek yogurt, but I use vegan mayo because I do have an egg intolerance. And so this works. It's not as, I don't love it as much, or I don't love regular mayo either, but it's a little bit thinner than regular mayo, but it works pretty darn good. So I put some of that in a bag. I have tried just dipping the chicken breasts and everything, but honestly, I just find that doing it this way works the best. And then I'm going to put the coating mix. It's already seasoned, it's already ready to go, completely gluten-free, little crispy crunchy, guys. And I've got my chicken ready to go, and so I just toss the pieces in here. I'll just toss them all in, what the heck. Give my hands a quick wash again. Okay. And then you zhuzh these all around in the mayo. Dip them in the coating. And then when you, so these chicken fingers, I'm doing chicken fingers, you can do chicken burgers if you like. There's a couple of them in here that are probably the size more appropriate for burgers. And then what I'll do is I'll just put them on this sheet pan. You know, get them coated in the mayo, get them coated in the crumb coating, and then they're gonna go on the sheet pan into the freezer, and then when they're frozen, then they'll just go into a freezer bag until I'm ready to use them. And then what I do, you can do these on the sheet pan with the cooling rack. See, this one's more like chicken burger size. And you see that just coats them up nicely. Lay that on there like that. I cook them right from frozen. You can do it on the sheet pan with the rack on it. The rack helps to create a air fryer experience in your oven, or you can cook them in an air fryer. That works too. But just cook them from frozen. Just take out what you need, cook them, and you're good. And there you've got homemade chicken fingers, done fast. You know what's in them. I love them. I really do. I have these handy in the freezer all the time to make a quick lunch or cook them up and chop them up and make like teriyaki chicken wraps or, you know, buffalo chicken wraps. Chop them up, put them on salad. It's kind of just up to you. But they make for great lunches. Okay. There we go. I got the last little one in here. Boy, that's just the perfect amount of crumb coating. Perfect amount of chicken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chicken fingers I made with one packet. A couple of them, like I said, are about chicken burger size. And then those are gonna go in and freeze. 1 second, just gonna wash my hands again. That'll be what I do most of anything, wash my hands. Okay, and so I've got 2 meatloafs, a tray of chicken fingers, the honey garlic ribs instead of the sweet garlic ribs, the sweet garlic chicken instead of the honey garlic chicken, and a rotisserie chicken ready to go into the freezer. That's session 1, all done for you guys. And yeah, I'll show you some photos when these are all done. Honestly, they're just gonna freeze like this. I'm gonna put them in a freezer bag and now they're ready to go whenever I want. You cook from frozen. And that's it for session number 1. So we'll see you guys. I'll see you next week, but I'm gonna tape session 2 right now. So have an amazing day. Bye guys.